Righto guys, I just wanted to get a really quick video out addressing the current state of the Pokemon and Magic markets, all the turmoil surrounding Pokemon just having a very small drop in price, and I want to talk about all the tremendous opportunities that I'm seeing across the board that have been there in Magic for a little while, and now we're starting to see some good buying opportunities in Pokemon as well. Just to, I guess, sort of take another step back. This channel was created for a couple of reasons. The first one was sort of as a record of account. I've learnt from my time in trading other markets that the herd always seems to get things quite wrong, and some of the best investment decisions are usually the most unpopular at the time, and you cop a lot of ridicule for these decisions. And then when it ends up paying off in the long run, because you might be looking to the long run, no one, no one really ever credits it because everyone's forgotten about that crazy investment you made years ago. And it's sort of just written off straight away as something stupid. I remember in 2017 when I was trying to tell people, 2017, 18, 19, I was trying to tell people to buy Bitcoin. Everyone said you're crazy. And, years later, they'd be like, oh, how's that Bitcoin going? And as I've talked about in previous episodes, I managed to actually fuck up the Bitcoin investment by trading my Bitcoin on leverage. But it's not the point I'm trying to make here. It's the point is to show that the majority tends to get things wrong, and I would like to document how this can happen in cards as well, so that people can learn from that and moving forwards capitalise from this tendency that seems to be true across all markets of the herd just getting things wrong time and time again. And if you're new to markets, it feels very unnatural and sort of it's very hard to go against the majority because there's a certain comfort that we take in being part of a larger group, and you feel better about if you're wrong, at least everyone else was wrong too. You don't want to be like the one dickhead that went and did something different and it blows up in your face while everyone else over there has gone and made a heap of money. So that's one of the reasons that I made this channel. And then the other reason was, and I suppose I've just lightly touched on it there, is I've made a lot of mistakes in the past trading other markets or investing in other markets. And I want to bring a lot of those lessons I've learnt from other markets over here to Pokemon and Magic and that sort of thing, so that people who aren't familiar with these tendencies of the markets, like how they behave, people that aren't familiar with that can hopefully avoid some of the mistakes that I had to learn the hard way. I've made probably every mistake that you can make in markets. So I think I've got plenty to talk about in that sense. So that brings me to this current Pokemon and Magic situation. We've got the herd all losing their minds about the slight disappointment in recent in the modern Pokemon sets. Meanwhile, if you are to step away from the herd and have a look around by yourself, not worry about what everyone else is freaking out about, you can quickly find just tremendous opportunities everywhere in the market. And I've seen this, I feel like I've seen this 1,000 times, and I haven't even been in markets that long. For about the last 10 years, I've dabbled in markets anywhere from investing to high leverage trading. And I've seen this so many times where everyone just gets caught up on this one thing. And they're just solely focused on that. Meanwhile, there's just all these opportunities that lay right there to be taken, and they miss it every time. And I'm saying that again here. Everyone's Pokemon 30, Pitch Black, Chaos Rising, Perfect Order aren't performing. What are we going to do? And meanwhile, you've got all these dirt cheap Magic sets, and now you've got Pokemon at retail pricing that's actually available. And I don't think many people are actually going to buy it. People are going to wait, but what are you waiting for? So I am going to not give financial advice, but I'm going to say exactly what I'm doing right now, as most, the majority of people are focusing on the headlines. So I'm buying Magic, Turtles, Avatar, Lorwyn, mostly collectors boxes, but a bit of everything. Whatever I can get my hands on for a good deal, and I'm buying as much of it as I can right now. So this is going to probably depend on where you live and that sort of thing, but what I've found the best approach to accumulating these products is a lot of these card stores seem to be strapped for liquidity, like they need cash flow, especially with the upcoming releases of like Pokemon 30, The Hobbit, that sort of thing. And they're selling off these unloved Magic sets for just retarded prices. I'm picking up Turtles collector boxes for $500. I got a Spider-Man collector's box for like $400 the other day. I don't think it's a good idea to scalp these products because I think they've got tremendous upside potential over the long run. But even if you're a scalper, you could take these trades. They're right there to be taken, and just everyone's just looking at Pokemon 30, The Hobbit, Perfect Order, whatever. So that's what I'm doing. I think that the Magic sets have far more favourable risk to reward profiles right now than anything Pokemon has to offer. A lot of these collector boxes that I've just spoken about are already dirt cheap. They're down a long way from their highs. They've got huge single cards in them, and they're already scarce. Like you can't actually get a significant supply of these on the secondary markets. And as I mentioned earlier, they're nearly all gone from retail shops, and they're getting cleared out for clearance prices now, so that these shops can get some funding for these new big releases coming towards the end of the year. So this is sort of an example of one of those tremendous opportunities where everyone's going to miss it, and then once they start to increase drastically in price, everyone will complain that they've missed it. Everyone's going to want these sets that no one's wanted for the last 3, 6, 12 months. So that's the Magic situation, in my opinion. And as for Pokemon, look, I think it's a safe play. I can't see this demand for Pokemon going anywhere. I think the upside is possibly more limited on some of this modern stuff, but now that you can actually get this modern stuff, I think it's a good buy to just sit on it. Chaos Rising, ETBs and that sort of thing, if you can get them, booster boxes, if you can get them for around retail price. We've never seen Pokemon booster boxes or ETBs age and decline. So, they're available here in Australia if you're clever enough at retail pricing. So I think you're pretty safe with that investment. But I personally do prefer Magic right now. With all that said, I think I'm going to have to wrap this video up here. I've got to shoot back to work. I just thought I'd quickly get this out on my lunch break. But I've seen this. I haven't had great success in markets in the past, and it's because I have been one of these members of the herd that I'm criticising here. I've been the guy that's been just way too focused on the short term, using leverage, all that stuff, and just missing all the opportunity because I was unwilling to wait and let time do its thing with the investment, or that I was just unwilling to even look. And that's sort of one thing that I noticed with a lot of these scalpers so far is, they feel comfort being in the majority. They won't even look at these alternatives. And the interesting thing is, if the tables turn and Magic starts to really gain some traction and scalpers start getting into Magic, eventually the herd will shift as a whole over into Magic. And, they'll be there late and they'll be comfortable and they'll be a part of it. But the opportunity's there early. You want to get in towards the bottom of these moves, not catching the tail end of it. So, yeah, bit of a rushed video. I hope this hasn't sounded too silly as I quickly smashed this out in my lunch break. But I just wanted to make a point of this because I think it's really important. Like, we might not have a heap of great investment opportunities moving forward in this market. I think this is the early days of something really special in cards. I've touched on this in previous episodes, and we'll continue to talk about it. But I think the future is very bright for cards. So we'll get into that in the next episode. But yeah, thanks for listening, guys.